It takes a special kind of diabolical monster to fundraise off the back of the homeless and keep it for yourself. On top of that, you know, it ranks right up there for me with like influencers who fake giving money to homeless people. Believe me, that happens. Or who like use homeless people for clout. Like, oh, I'm going to buy a couple of McDonald's sandwiches and give it to the homeless so I can make hundreds of thousands of dollars on social media or thousands of dollars on social media. I don't like that. It's exploitative. It's cringe. But this is a whole nother level. After raising $400,000 on the back of allegedly a homeless person, Caitlin Mcclure decided that she was just going to keep that money for herself. But justice came a-knocking, and it finally broke the door down today. We'll get into this story after a quick word from awesome channel sponsor, Galaxy Lamps. Huge shout out to this video's sponsor, the amazing Galaxy Lamps. The Galaxy projector will light up any room with countless rotating stars and colorful nebulae. Its integration with the Smart Galaxy Lamps app lets you fully customize the colors, adjust rotation speed and brightness, set automatic on-off timers, and control it with Amazon Alexa or Google Assistant. With a code, The Quartering, you'll save 15% off your order, so make sure you get your Galaxy projector today. It's awesome for you or for a loved one, a gift to someone else, or to yourself. Gift for someone else, gift for you. One of the coolest things I've ever bought, and absolutely love it. Caitlin Mcclure, woman who helped with $400,000 GoFundMe scam, sentenced to prison. The New Jersey woman who helped concoct a fake story about helping a homeless veteran that was the catalyst for a $400,000 in GoFundMe donations was sentenced in federal court to 1 year in prison. Caitlin Mcclure, 32, was also ordered to pay restitution and serve 3 years of supervised release for the 2018 scheme that unraveled once she and her then boyfriend were sued by the homeless man. Of all people. McClure's sentencing caps off the wild tale that began when she shared a heartwarming story about a down-on-his-luck veteran, Johnny Bobbitt, handing her his last $20 bill to fill up her tank after she ran out of gas in the middle of the night. She and her then boyfriend, Mark D'Amico, created a GoFundMe page to raise funds for the kind-hearted stranger. And about 14,000 people contributed to the cause in the following weeks. But the account was a hoax. The couple met Bobbitt about a month before she claimed that he handed over his last money to Jackson while he was panhandling in an underpass. McClure fabricated the story to compel donors to pay it forward. Isn't that interesting? The trio enjoyed the fruits of their fraud until Bobbitt sued McClure and D'Amico over claims that they were blowing the stash on luxury items. A recreational vehicle, a BMW, trips to casinos. Bobbitt claimed that they only shared about $75,000 with him. D'Amico accepted a plea deal in Burlington County in 2019 and agreed to a 5-year prison sentence. Isn't that interesting? Wait, the man got 5 years. The man got 5 years. She got 1 year. Isn't that interesting? Where's the patriarchy? What is it? What? What? You mean to tell me that men get harsher sentences than women for the exact same crime? What? I'm having a moment here, friends. I'm shocked and appalled. I can't believe it. Bobbitt was ordered to enter a rehab program, but got to keep the money apparently. Like McClure, both are scheduled for sentencing on separate state charges next month. McClure pled guilty to second-degree theft by deception as part of the agreement in New Jersey in court in 2019. She also is scheduled to be sentenced on state charges next month. It's actually insane. Now, interestingly enough, apparently the boyfriend, Mark D'Amico, is the accused ringleader. He was sentenced to 27 months in federal prison. This was a New Jersey man this is the guy story, who conspired a lie with his girlfriend and homeless veteran to raise $400,000 in donations online, was sentenced Friday to 27 months. And they spent all the money, by the way. They spent all of his money. It's like, this is why, like, there's even a documentary. Since then, the trio has been at the center of a Hulu documentary produced by 6 ABC investigation team called No Good Deed, a crowdfunding holiday heist. The documentary features interviews with D'Amico, Mcclure, and Bobbitt before the world found out the truth. Their story started to unravel after the veteran sued the couple, accusing them of not giving him the money. Well, I would imagine if you split it 3 ways, he was owed about $125,000. They gave him $75,000. So they would have got away with it. They would have completely got away with it if they had just paid out, if they had not just gotten greedy. But isn't that the case? Isn't that like always the case? And there's like so many GoFundMe scams that, like, there's GoFundMe and Kickstarter scams, all this kind of stuff where, like, it's insane. You can see this article, when GoFundMe gets ugly, the largest crowdfunding site in the world puts a mirror to who we are and what matters to us most. Try not to look away. You can see, various articles. There's a lot of fraud, in my opinion, that goes through these sites. A lot of shenanigans too. And this isn't the first time. There's been at least half a dozen other times where people have gone to prison. How about this? Adrian Gonzalez, who tracks GoFundMe campaigns on watchdog website GoFraudMe, has put together a little bit of a list. Victoria Morrison of Carson City, Nevada, faked her son's terminal illness, launched a GoFundMe campaign meant to raise money for the boy's bucket list. She raised about $2,000 in the campaign, which lasted over a month. She was arrested in April and charged with obtaining money by false pretenses, according to Los Angeles Vegas Review-Journal. How about this? Barry Sutton, a civilian contractor and former police officer who lost his life. Georgia went in the morning. A GoFundMe campaign quickly popped up in his honor, organized by family friend Brandy Holder, to raise money in a memorial duck hunt for the fallen officer's daughters. The duck hunt never happened. Holder withdrew nearly $5,000 from the GoFundMe campaign, according to the Washington Post. Sutton's family only saw $400 before Holder stopped returning their calls. Holder pled guilty to the felony theft by conversion and was sentenced to 2 years in prison and another 8 months probation for $5,000. How about J.G. Spooner, a former sports radio host on 92.3 The Fan, is known these days for scamming ways than his on-air personality. Spooner pled guilty in November 2016 for taking $6,000 from a GoFundMe campaign that he had set up for a childhood acquaintance who suffered from cystic fibrosis. It was one of many scams that Spooner had on his hands, according to Cleveland.com. In February 2017, he was sentenced to 30 months in prison for the fraud, also ordered to pay $16,000 in restitution. How about Canadian woman faking brain disease? In November 2014, a woman named Cynthia Smith of Burlington, Ontario, faked a rare neurological order and raised more than $126,000 in a campaign. Smith convinced her loved ones that she had overcome organ failure and a massive stroke, both part of a rapid onset chronic inflammatory CIPDP, but soon doubts were raised about her supposed illness, as it was determined she was never sick in the first place. She was charged in May of defrauding the public for more than $5,000, and she would go on to plead guilty for a lesser charge. And she was allowed to go with 2 years probation. Police were able to recover just $7,200 of the money that she raised. So she got away with $100,000 and never spent a day in prison. New York, an upstate New York campaign was arrested after they alleged their child had cancer, and in order to launch a GoFundMe campaign. Syracuse.com reports that Martin and Jolene LaFrance raised nearly $3,000 through a GoFundMe campaign. They said their son was struggling with lymphoma, Hodgkin's lymphoma. The couple even used the ruse to get their son invited to a Syracuse football practice. course, they were charged in a scheme to defraud and endanger the welfare of a child and went to prison. GoFundMe is not exactly a den of honest people, and you should always be wary before giving people your hard-earned cash, especially in times like these. I mean, buying coffee from me is good, or getting a galaxy lamp is also good, but be very careful with crowdfunding. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.